Hey traders, Mike Sir here. Welcome to my live weekly trader psychology live stream series where I help you with the mental side of trading. All right, thank you everyone for joining me this weekend or this Sunday. Today we are going to talk about the $1,000,000 mindset. And as you've already, possibly seen a lot of my videos in regards to profiling a lot of top traders in the world, very, very successful millionaire traders or even billionaire traders, I want to share in this live stream a little bit more about their mindset in terms of making this type of money in the markets. And also, I want to share some of the experiences that I had, as well as some of my successful students had in terms of being able to make millions in the market. Now, a lot of times people just focus on, well, in order for me to make a lot of money in the markets, I need to know what strategy to trade. I need to be in the right stocks. I need to, know how to use leverage. I need to, utilize a lot of these perhaps tools, or even, know how to read the charts or fundamentals, whatever that may be, or knowledge that they don't look at the other aspect, which is the emotional side or the mindset side that's required in order for you to make millions in the markets. So that's why in this live stream, I'm going to talk more about the mindset that is required to make millions in the market. So let's get started. So just normal disclaimer, please consult your financial advisor before making financial decisions. All right, let's get straight into it. All right, so one of the things that I feel is very, very important in terms of making lots of money in the markets or making millions in the market is actually setting a goal to make millions in the market. So what do I mean by that? Is to actually have a goal that you are looking to make $1,000,000 in the markets. Now, we obviously can't control how much we make in the markets. We can only set specific goals, but setting specific goals aligns your mind that this is important to you. This is something that you are striving to achieve, and this is where you will figure out ways to be able to do that. And that's very, very different. If you don't do that, it's very, very different from you not setting goals and just basically just trading randomly, or just trading according to the process, or just not having a specific financial goal in mind. Then what are you trading it for? Like, what are you looking for in terms of in the markets? So that's a very important mindset. Mind you, lots of successful traders who, let's just say, start off with a small amount of money, they don't necessarily go out there and try to achieve that goal. Perhaps some do. So that's very, very important. But even if you don't, or even some of the successful traders that I profile, even if they don't, as long as when they are mainly starting with a small money and they start to see that their profits are compounding or their profits are multiplying, that it actually becomes a reality, or becomes a lot closer to reality, that they'll be able to make $1,000,000. So it's always very, very important to set a specific financial goal. And there's been lots of case studies of people who written down their financial goals or written down their goals after graduating from school, and then they go back 10 years go look at those people who wrote down those goals 10 years later. In fact, the people who wrote down those goals tend to actually achieve them versus people who haven't. And what I want to emphasize in terms of you writing down this $1,000,000 goal or setting financial goals for yourself is to keep you on track. It's to have a target in mind. And it's just like, when you play a video game, right? There, you want to win the game. You constantly are playing this game to win the game, or you have an end destination, right? You will have obstacles along the way, but as long as you know what the clear goal is, you will keep striving until you reach that particular goal. And also gives you guidance, obviously. As I said again, well, what are you trading for? Like, are you trading to make $5, $10, $100,000, $1 million, 10 million, right? What is it that you are trading for? And therefore, it will suddenly open your mind to this possibility that, okay, all I need to know is, okay, if I'm looking to make $1 million goal, this is my goal. How do I achieve that? Right? So it frames your mind to look for ideas that will help you get you closer. So that's also why, when I speak to my students, or when I am talking to my students in terms of working with them, I ask them, well, what's your goal? Well, some of them say, well, I want to make money. Well, how much? Well, I want to make lots. Well, what is the amount, right? Then therefore, I have an idea, well, what type of a plan, how should you trade? What type of instruments should you trade? What type of strategies, therefore, will help you get you closer to that goal instead of being just a dream. All right. Second thing of all, okay, is people who are very, very successful, they think big, or they think bigger than what their expectations are. Therefore, if you think bigger, then it doesn't limit you to how much you can make. So, for example, I often see some people when I speak to some traders, well, I'm just looking to make $100,000 a year. That would be an incredible goal. And quite frankly, it could be. But you kind of limit yourself once you have a certain, or for example, I just want to make $10 per day or $200 per day. I mean, it's a good realistic goal to achieve, in the beginning. But once you stick with just a more of a achievable goal, then you don't open your mind to unlimited possibilities. Now, mind you, I often hear people who have not even earned $100 in the market. They say, I want to make $1 million. I want to make $10 million. Well, let's start with making, $10 first, right? So there's extreme circumstances, but what I want you to do is think bigger. And it doesn't necessarily mean that, okay, well, it's an unrealistic goal at this point. What it allows you to do is allows you to be able to achieve more. Because if you limit yourself to how much you think you can make, it does not allow you to make more than what you think you should or are able to be making. And I often have times, like I work with traders before who I think have the skills, but yet they're not thinking big enough, or yet maybe perhaps they don't have the confidence that they have the ability to achieve that. So just give you like a quick example is it's really easy to double your money in the financial markets, especially if you're consistent. For example, if you're consistently, let's just say, making $100,000, or sorry, let's just do a little small amount. If you're consistently making, let's just say, $25,000 a year in the markets, and you want to make more, well, if you have shown that you are consistent, then to be able to double that is you just play double your size. Instead of buying 1,000 shares or trading 1,000 shares, you trade 2,000 shares. Now, as I said in previous live streams, obviously your risk is higher, but if you have a consistency, your overall performance is positive, then doubling your risk is not, or sorry, doubling your potential profit or doubling the size that you're playing, it won't necessarily double your overall losses. Okay, so that's why people say consistency is important. Consistency is important because you then know where your middle ground, where your profit target level is. You know where what your downside is. And again, if your profit, if you are making a profit overall, you should be able to double or triple your potential returns. So that's why, again, think bigger and think big in terms of the ability for you to make millions. Third thing, as you probably seen in a lot of my top trader videos, is that some of these traders, or many of these traders, have caught on to an incredible opportunity, or they have identified an incredible trading opportunity in the markets due to their specialization or due to their expertise or just due to timing, right? Timing of their trades, that they were able to capture something from the bottom here and skyrocket up here, or if they're shorting, something that's up here and falling sharply downward, right? Is they are looking for big opportunities. And if you are able to obviously capture those bigger opportunities, then obviously you will make a lot more money and a lot more profits. And what this obviously entails is, well, we don't know what type of big opportunity there is, right? We cannot necessarily foresee it. However, you can identify maybe perhaps certain potential market events that you are aware of that could lead to bigger opportunities or bigger movements in the assets that you are trading. So it's more of an approach, and it's the mindset in a sense of, I'm only like in terms of me being able to make millions in the market, I'm looking specifically only for big opportunities. So, for example, recently I've been working with a few students who, and perhaps you may be aware, I haven't really talked too much about it, but we are in the start of a bull market. And if you look at the stock prices of Apple, Microsoft, Nvidia, Tesla, they've basically been skyrocketing up. And some of these traders I've been working with, they said, well, now it's a good time. They think it's a good time to get into these stocks. Well, I would ask them, a question is, well, these stocks have basically gone up very, very sharply. Yes, they can go higher. Is this an opportunity where the stock can double? Even though some of these stocks have already doubled from their lows. Yes, they can, but it's just that it's not as big an opportunity versus some assets that have not gone up much in value. So you have to be looking for bigger opportunities, and the mindset is to look for bigger opportunities or look for bigger profit potential opportunities in order for you to make bigger money or millions in the markets. Fourth thing, what I have realized in analyzing so many of the successful traders is they take calculated risk. And I include this term calculated. It's a lot of people think that in order to make a lot of money, you obviously need to take more risk, or you need to take big risk. For example, if you are looking to turn a few $1,000s into a few $1,000,000, you're thinking, well, they must have taken a lot of risk. Like that few thousand, probably they went all in, right? Or they bought a bunch of call options or put options, just YOLO the trade and hit the home run. Yes, you do see that. And yes, I have profiled some of these traders who have essentially been very aggressive in terms of taking a big amount of risk in order to make these big returns. However, I would have to add this calculated part. And what I mean by calculated part is not necessarily all these successful traders that I profiled, including myself and a few students, is not, we're not YOLOing trades. We are taking calculated risks. And what do I mean by calculated? Well, calculated meaning that you obviously in the beginning need to preserve your capital, whatever amount that you have. But once you are in profit, then perhaps you'll be risking your profits or utilizing your profits to make greater profits. and risking those profits versus risking your entire principal. So that's what I mean by calculated, and obviously calculated in the sense of you're not going to, on one trade, basically go all in. Maybe you try a little bit. If it doesn't work, you take a step back, maybe try a little bit again. If it you try, or perhaps you try a little bit. If it's not working, you try again until to a certain point where you're not basically giving yourself only one chance. Maybe perhaps you're giving yourself 5, 10 chances before you actually stop trading that account. So you're taking very, very minimal risk, which allows you to make greater mistakes or more mistakes. All right, the next one. What I have seen, lots of successful traders look at trading as more of a process rather than looking at it as a profit and loss scenario, or looking at how much money that they can make. Is they're focusing on the process. Well, what do you mean by process? Well, it's the process to look for these type of opportunities. And once they have identified these type of opportunities, actually, sorry, maybe let me take a step back. So focus on the process is they have a thesis in their mind. Okay, they're thinking, okay, I think this stock, this particular company will go up in value. Okay, they do their due diligence, they do their research, they look at the company's fundamentals, kind of really understand, is this a company that is hot? For example, maybe you've are able to identify AI being the next catalyst of stocks of artificial intelligence be the hot thing. And obviously it is right now, but if you were able to identify that, okay, well, which are the stocks that will perform very, very well or have a very strong AI type of offering. So then you start to identify those stocks and which ones, and then you look at the charts. Well, which one would give me the explosive price momentum, or which ones have not gone up yet in price, or which ones are basically very, very cheap, or which ones are exhibiting a positive momentum to the upside, or exhibiting certain characteristics that it's reversing and then heading upwards. So you're going through that whole process, right? You're identifying what the entry price is. You're identifying where your target level is. You're identifying, what type of pattern. So you're going through the whole process in terms of identifying a particular opportunity, and you get in. And if it's working, well, where can I add more? Where can I buy more? Right? Where do I sell? Where do I, add more size, for example? So it's the whole process rather than focusing, okay, yeah, this exhibits a certain pattern, let's get in without any type of plan and looking at it purely from, hey, how much is this trade going to make me? And also, once you have taken some profits, you are analyzing, how am I getting closer to that $1 million goal, right? You're tracking your progress. If you're finding that, hey, I'm playing too small here and I'm having a very positive win-loss ratio, or I'm just not identifying the correct type of trades that I need to enter into, that would allow me to enter or be able to make bigger profits that will get me closer to my $1 million goal, right? So you analyze the progress and then you adjust along the way. Or for example, you are on track, right? For example, if you want to, let's just say, make $1 million in a year, well, it boils back down to how much per month, right? Around 80,000 ish per month. And then you break it down per week, right? Then you break it down into 2 days. So it gives you kind of a progress, right? Sometimes you're exceeding your goals, sometimes you're not exceeding your goals. So it allows you to be able to track your progress and therefore be able to scale into trades, or perhaps be able to play much bigger once you have some profits to play with, and then be able to multiply those profits to get you closer to that $1 million goal. All right, next one, and you guys heard me say this many times and I've seen this type of practice in many successful traders is patience. Okay, we all want to make money immediately. I want to make $1 million tomorrow, right? I don't want to wait a year. I don't want to wait a few months. I want it tomorrow. But that's not the right mentality. Even though you are ready, okay, your mindset, okay, I'm ready to go. I found the opportunities. I'm going to go all in, right? Like, because I want to make it tomorrow. I want to, or I want to make that money tomorrow, but I don't see the right opportunity appear. And quite frankly, you don't necessarily you don't sometimes know when the real opportunity will appear. For example, you get into something, if it's working and going in your favor, then it's working, right? It's telling you that the opportunity is here. So that's where you have to continue add size, right? You continue work that trade versus you getting in, it didn't go it went up a little bit in your favor and then went down, right? And then got you stopped out, right? So that's not the opportunity. So you got to be patient and wait for the real opportunity. And the real opportunity will only appear as the trade is working in your favor, where everything is aligning. So that's what I've seen where these successful traders that I profiled who made so much money in the markets is that it's not because they were able to predict these opportunities that will appear. It's more of that they are able to capture those opportunities once they are aware of these opportunities, and once the opportunity has come, they are able to trade on that and leverage that opportunity to their advantage. All right, hang on a second, guys. Okay. Next one that I want to talk about is know your expertise. Okay. It's very, very important, and I kind of talked a little bit about that, is in order for you to know what type of opportunity may arise, because you don't know, is you got to really know the market that you are trading. And again, if you've seen a lot of my top trader videos, is they've all made their money in a specific area. Like recently, the last video that I profiled is a trader who only trades, or mainly trades, crude oil. I have guys who made millions who are only trading gold. I have guys who only made their millions in trading tech companies, right? I have guys who trade Forex. So you got to have your expertise. You can't be a handyman trader where you're trying to make millions in a wide variety of asset classes, right? Some of them have made their millions in crypto because they know the crypto market well. So